Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to do kind of like a continuation of last week's video. In last week's video, I spoke about where I applied to grad school, what I applied to, where I decided to go to. You might want to watch that video first. So, I got into NYU for grad school. I got into the mental health counseling master's program. I decided to not go to NYU, and I did a whole pros and cons list before I made that decision. I don't know if I'm gonna read everything on here, but basically this is the NYU pros and cons, and this is the pro side. So that focuses, this is the pro side and this is the con side. The con side is super long. And then the Orlando, staying in Orlando, pros and cons. So this is the pro side and this is the cons side. So I'm gonna go ahead and just read that to you guys super quick. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the cons of going to NYU, and this kind of helped me make my decision. It wasn't based solely on this. It was kind of, I think I came up with this decision mostly where I would be the happiest. So I thought I would be the happiest in Orlando because I love where I live. I love the community I live in. I love living in this house. I had just finished, or I had just started decorating the house I live in. Yes, I don't own the house, but we like rent it. And I'm very happy where I am, and I based the decision mostly on where will I be happy in New York. And I am someone that really enjoys having people around me. I get depressed really easily, especially when I don't have people to talk to and when I'm lonely, and I'm an introvert, so it'd be hard. Every time I told this to someone, like, oh, I don't know if I want to go to New York because I don't know anyone there except for one person, and they were like, oh, but you'll make friends. And I was like, yeah, but it's hard for me to make friends. Like, yeah, I'll make them, but it's gonna take longer, and in the meantime I'm gonna be depressed and I'm gonna be busy, and it's so expensive to live there, and I don't love working and I don't want to be extra stressed, and I know that I have a really good where I live, so I didn't want to give that up. And if New York is in the plans for me in the future, then it is, and if it's not, then that's okay and I'm fine with that. But yeah, so I'm going to do first I'm going to read the cons for NYU. So the first thing I wrote, and okay, I want to stress this because everybody thinks I made my decision because of Quincy. Everybody says like, oh, you didn't go to NYU because you didn't want to leave Quincy behind, and like that is not it. Because I have enough faith in our relationship that I know that if I were to leave and go to New York, we would stay together. Like, I have no doubt in my mind that we would not break up because of New York, you know. Like, he would graduate from college, and I would graduate and we would decide whether he moves there or like we continue doing long distance. And New York is only a 3-hour flight, and the flights are not too expensive to go there, so I know like that did not cross my mind. But I put my first con that I would be far from Quincy, and I put this on there because I'm used to seeing him every day, and I know it would be very hard for me at first. I'll give you guys this anecdote. Every time I go down to South Florida to see my family, I sleep in like my parents' house, and he sleeps in his parents' house, and we live together, and we've been living together for over 1.5 years now. And it's always so difficult for me to sleep when I'm back home, and it's because like I'm used to having him next to me. So like when I go sleep alone, I just feel like I'm missing something. So that would be a hard adjustment for me. So first of all, I would be far from him, and it would be hard to not see him every day. It would be hard to not come home to him. It would be hard to like, you know, like over the phone, like FaceTime would be hard. I mean, we would adjust, but that would be like, that's still a con, you know. It's not like, it's never gonna be a positive. Second, it's cold, and I like the cold to a certain degree, but I think I would not enjoy the cold for a long period. Like when it gets cold in Orlando, it gets cold for like a week at a time, and then I enjoy it. But I think if it's consistently cold every single day, like snowing, freezing, like literally my joints would hurt. Like, and I'm not saying just making that up, like honestly, like my joints would literally hurt. Like my joints hurt now when it gets cold here. I would get seasonal depression over there when it gets cold, because I already get depression. I already get depressed easily, so I don't have it down in my mind that could happen, and it happens to a lot of people, and I really need the vitamin D. And I noticed that even now when I live in Orlando, when I'm at work during the winter time, when I'm at work for a long time of the day, and by the time since it gets darker earlier, when I get out of work, I don't see the sun, and I get depressed because I need the sun to like get the vitamin D and like not get so depressed. So I feel like that would be exacerbated in New York. It's expensive. Everything is more expensive. Like, yes, I might be getting paid more, but that means I would have to work harder to live where I want to live, and I don't want to just live anywhere. I would want to live like have my own bedroom, maybe my own studio or something like that, because clearly I would want Quincy to come and stay with me during breaks and things like that when he can, and I don't know if that would be possible living with other people, and like it would just be harder, you know. So I would have to work more hours, and that would make me even more depressed because I wouldn't have free time to make friends. The job market is more competitive. Everybody wants to move to New York, therefore like it'd be harder for me to find a job, and then I wouldn't be able to pay for the expensive stuff. So that's another thing. I would have anxiety, and I get anxious around like public transportation, and it's not because I'm anxious with the people there or like it has nothing to do with the people or like the timing or anything like that, like getting to places on time. The anxiety comes from the trains themselves and like having platforms. Like I love public transportation, like I actually love it, but I get anxious like in big crowds, and I get anxious with loud noises. Sometimes I get anxious with like crossing streets because I'm scared of getting run over. I get anxious when a train comes into the station. I get anxious that I'm gonna fall into the tracks, and like that stuff gives me anxiety, and like I have a really big fear of dying, and I feel like that would just like, when I go to New York I always get some anxiety with like trains and like platforms and crowded platforms and like things like that. Like it's very noisy, so like the city never sleeps, so I don't know, like I mean I would obviously get used to the noise, but at first it would be like, I don't know if I would, like I don't know how I would react to that. It's a small living space, so I know I would be living in a shoebox basically. I would have to live with a roommate most likely at first, and I live with roommates now, so I don't mind that, but like the thing is that like the roommates I know now, I've known them since like high school, so it's different. I would have no one to sleep with, I already said that, so that's on my list. I'm just reading off my list. School is expensive. NYU is super expensive. Yes, the school I'm going to is also expensive, but it's not as expensive as NYU, so that's a big factor in it. I would have to put my life on hold, and I think what I meant is that like I wouldn't be able to marry Quincy anytime soon because we would be separate, so like long distance marriage isn't like the ideal. When I would have to wait longer to have kids, and it's not that I want to have kids today or tomorrow or next year, but like I would want to have kids like soon after graduating, so like I would probably have to wait even longer than that to have kids, because like I wouldn't want to have kids in New York City, so like that's what I mean by put my life on hold. I would have fear of missing out, FOMO, and I already get FOMO even living here, but I think I would have that even more because all my friends are here, but like seeing them gather together and like have like Friendsgiving and like things like that on their Snapchat, and then like me being all the way in New York, and like that would just make me sad because I would want to be with them too and like spend time with them. And then I would have to move my stuff out of this house that I live with Quincy, so then I would have to be like, okay, no, we would have to think like the things that we bought together, like, oh, do I get to keep that, or like I bought that, or like this is mine, not yours, and like things that would be like even like more like to think about. And then when that's like weird, because then like if I don't, then I would have to buy duplicates of things that I already have, and it's just like annoying. And then Quincy and I, if you guys already know this is like a short little promo. Quincy and I have a channel together. A lot of very, very exciting news coming out on there. We vlogged a bunch of our trips and like stuff like that, so you guys should definitely subscribe because the next upcoming videos are gonna be lit. Wink, wink, wink. That channel would suffer because we would have to record a lot of things. And then the pros of New York, because there were some pros. It's a great option, it's a great school, it's a great opportunity. Like on my resume, if I say I graduated from NYU, like that's like bragging rights basically. It would be great for my career. Then I like the city vibe, so like I did say that the subway, like stuff like that gives me anxiety, but I at the same time I love it. Like I love being able to jump on the train and go anywhere. I love being able to walk down to like the street and like have a convenience store right there instead of having to drive everywhere. Like I love that. I'm gonna need a car, so that means eliminate car payments, eliminate car insurance, things like that. But then you would have to buy like a Metro Pass. New York City is one of the top cities for mental health, so like I would thrive there with my career basically. I can get closer to my sister because like we're 7 years apart, so growing up we weren't the closest because she was older than me and I was the annoying little sister, and now like we don't text as often, we don't talk as often, which I wish we did. If we both live in the same city, we could get closer and like create like a better bonds as siblings. I could make new friends, more opportunities perhaps, it's more prestigious, and it's the best education, or probably the best education I could get. But yeah, those are the reasons why I decided to stay in Orlando, and I'm very excited. I signed up for my first classes. I'm taking stats, foundations of like something, and then something else. But I'm very excited. I'm taking 3 classes. I start August 26th, so maybe I'll vlog my first day. We'll see, because it's gonna be a little bit hectic. My first day of school is also the same day I have my orientation, so that's a little bit odd. But yeah, exciting news coming soon. I don't know when I'm gonna upload the news, but it's very exciting. And if I make another video with this same shirt on, it's because I'm filming 2 videos in the same day. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow me on my Instagram. Bye!